All the disrespect before you play back, button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day of buttons that need to be checked. Chapters down below, sub button right there. We just got one big hot topic. I do not understand it. Well, let me say this. I didn't understand it. I was super confused. Now I pretty much get it, but I'm still confused. That's how damn heavy this topic is. So chapters down below. Thank you guys for always taking the time to help the channel grow. By the way, I just posted a brand new video on that second channel, link down below. Either way, let's get to this one. Let's go. All right, first up for them, what the hell is going on with Maximilian in this toxic positivity buttons that need to be checked? I've seen this damn phrase, toxic positivity, I think just this year, and now I'm seeing multiple content creators. Then the more I learned about it, I was like, I think I get it now. I actually have some personal experiences I can share, and I gotta be real. I'm gonna call cap on a lot of this shit, but some of this, I'm actually gonna agree with. So either way, let's start right here. We got MK Tom Brady, courtesy, I believe, of Mike Hollow. He was talking about this, showing this clip. Check it out.
This is something that MK content creators could learn, and I wanted to play that clip, and then I will weigh in on why I disagree. In some examples, I agree, but for the most part, I do not agree with this at all.
In the same way that we make content and we see people react to our shit, you get people that are just purely negative, and you're like, damn, just a hater. I will never get them on my side. I can write that bitch a check for $1,000. Their opinion would not change. So in the same way, developers look at the big haterade content for a lot of games and go like, that's not our core audience. That message doesn't actually matter.
Okay, let me stop right there. Just off of that part, now I haven't heard the whole statement yet, but I do agree with just that part where he says, I could write that bitch a $1,000 check and their opinion of me will not change. Because he was like, just how we have opinions about games as content creators, we have to understand that people have an opinion about us. And I've experienced that with Button Check multiple times. There's sometimes I receive criticism, shit, a lot of times over the years, right? And I know, I can sense when people just hate you and they're always gonna, you will never please them. You can change, you can become a damn nun, a priest, a president, whatever. They will always find a reason to hate you. They're just gonna be a hater. It is what it is. They want you to drop off the face of the earth and die. So I agree with that part, right? So as a content creator, I'm looking at them like they're just haters. I don't gotta appease them. I don't even gotta think about them, right? I just gotta keep doing me and trying to be better. So I get what Max is saying in that sense. Let's continue.
I need to appeal towards them. But if you're like, hey, this game has this that are great, and it's really good, and it's running good, but this, and this, and this, and this, and this, these are big ass problems. So finding that criticism middle ground became really important to me, which is why like my relationship with devs now, whenever I run into them, they're like, be honest.
Okay, so he's talking about like, you got to find the middle ground. That way devs will mess with you more. Because if you're just being a hater, devs are going to look at you as such and be like, we don't need a relationship with that particular audience or even content creator. So he's like, I've developed certain content to where I can be like, this, and this is good, but this needs work or that is bad. Therefore, devs will respect my opinion and come up to me and say, be honest. Now, I think the term toxic positivity, though, it's not directly involved in this clip, but I've seen it. I've seen the comments and I've seen the YouTube videos, right? A lot of people are saying that when it comes to these big content creators like Maximilian, and hell, you could even throw Button Check in there as well if you wanted to. Nah, but real talk, what I'm trying to say is you get these big content creators, and if they're ever sponsored or if they're working for a particular video game, you have like this shill type aura, right? This toxic positivity to where they're being overly nice, to where the devs think the game is gonna rock, to where they're only saying it because they're getting paid, and where they would usually critique it a lot more, they hold back and they kind of jab. They hit you with like, what do they say, puppy dogs? Or, you know what I'm saying, with kitty hands?
That's not even a word!
Kid gloves, that's what the hell I'm trying to say. They hit you with kid gloves when it comes to the critiques. And I'm gonna be real, this is what I'm saying, personal experience, I've seen it. I'm not gonna name names, but I've seen it. I think everybody, I think everybody has fucking done this at one point or another in the FGC, especially when it comes to reviewing new games, and I'm instantly like, bullshit. Like, I could see the cap. I could see, and then they're sponsored with it, right? It's one thing when they're not sponsored with it, but see, you also got to take that with a grain of salt because some do it in hopes to get these devs to recognize them so they could be sponsored. But once they become sponsored, it's a wrap. They're always gonna hit you with kid gloves on the critique, and I really feel they can't be honest. Now, they'll give you a little truth. They will. They'll give you a little truth, but as far as like the 100% feedback, it's really hard for them because they put themselves in this situation where they're like basically on the team in a way.
Very obvious that NRS cannot take an ounce of criticism. If you do, you will be expelled from their good graces without an ounce of leniency. This has caused a toxic positive content creating culture in which you have your top quote unquote positive content creators who will, and I don't know why I started using the saying, suckle from the very teat of it.
Okay, so now Tom Brady is going in on how the whole NRS scene works with this because he's like, they cannot take any toxic positivity. You know what brings to mind is Sajam. Sajam was actually like blacklisted from commentating on the CPT, wasn't it? It was a CPT or Evo or something like that. Like he was banned, or not banned, but shadow banned, I should say, about like 2 years ago. And then he made a video talking about saying, I'm coming back or I'm back, all because he made a comment about like how the netcode sucked. Something like that, how he was unhappy. I guess the higher ups didn't like it, and then you didn't see this man for a minute. Now, he was still doing his thing and thriving and making his content, but now he's back. But it just goes to show you that the powers that be, if they don't like you, they're not rocking with you.
And that is how the positive and the negative side, quote unquote, were born because of the shills. And it's tough for me to call them shills because they're just doing what they have to do, even though they are shills, obviously. But they actually couldn't give their real opinion even if they wanted to. They would become persona non grata. They just would not be welcome there anymore. Many testers have said this. We had Blood Count on several streams. He said, yep, this is the case. Can't really tell them what to think. They're done with you. It causes a positive and negative side. And the reason why the quote unquote negative side, and this is what it's dubbed, there are so many words that get tossed around with that side. Crying, complaining. So even if you did want to talk about some of the catastrophic issues, nobody wants to be labeled a crybaby and a complainer. What happens is that side will just double down on everything's good. The things that are wrong with the game are minimal. We have heard many times in MK1. It's the best Mortal Kombat game in the best state of any MK game. And if this was the case, MK certainly wouldn't be in the situation that it is right now.
Okay, let me stop right there because there's another video I want to share real quick. But here's the problem with all of this. On one hand, like personally for me, I haven't worked with too many game devs. And I think it's because obviously I'm a news channel. So I've been told straight up by some sponsors in the FGC, like we can't necessarily rock with you, meaning sponsor you because you're a news channel, right? I'm not the streamer. I'm not gaming on Twitch and vlogs and like, hey, let's play for 5 hours and stuff like that. Even though I am down to do that sometimes, but you know, I present the news. So they know whatever the news is that day, I gotta be as non-biased as possible and present this damn thing. So if your game sucks today, check it out. Your game sucks today and there's nothing I can do about it. I gotta do the news. I can't be like, oh, this game doesn't suck today because they paid me $1,000. No, I can't do that. I'm the news. So therefore, Button Check doesn't really get dev love like that. Do you know the only dev that actually ever reached out to me? 2. I've only had 2. Tekken. Believe it or not, somebody at Bandai, I still don't know who they are. I got their email and stuff, but I've never met them. They sent me a free key. They sent me a free key to play this damn game before it ever came out. Didn't ask me to do anything with it. They were like, just enjoy the game. That was it. I was like, holy crap, I'm on Bandai's radar? Like, that was cool. Never talked to them again. Never heard from them. If I could talk, never heard from them again. I don't even know if they're still with Bandai. And guess who else? Multiverses.
I don't even get that. What?
They actually, same thing, and they showed me some love. Now, they weren't around long enough to keep showing the love, but see, even in these cases, I'll publicly say, hey, I'm so thankful. Thank y'all so much. Like, I appreciate this. I'm rocking. I really am rooting for the game, right? I'm really rooting for the game, but back to the news. And then we got to be real. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole premise. That's the whole purpose of Button Check. So in a way, I'm lucky, right? Because 99.9 of my sponsors are outside of the FGC. They're like clothing or electronics or a camera or a chair, you know, something like that. I don't have ties. So therefore, I don't have to appease anybody or be a quote unquote chill for like any dev or new game that's about to drop. But on that opposite side, I don't 100% agree with Tom Brady. I don't even know if I 100% agree with anybody really, because I have another perspective where I think the hater rate out there, the people that not the shills or whatever, but the other side, they're wrong too at times, because there's so many fucking bitter pros. There's so many bitter people, and even when I get to meet them or talk to them, I can instantly tell, like, your opinion is just straight hate. Your opinion is curved by your past, like, I guess, FGC trauma and experiences, and you're jaded as hell. So I really got to take talking to you and what you say with a grain of salt, because I can see it all over you.
Back from you. The story that was created on Twitter says Maximilian Dood calls for substance over hate in gaming feedback. Thank you for subscribing. In resurfaced clip from Brian's F Trash Talk podcast, gaming veteran Maximilian Dood compares toxic comments on content to players' rants aimed at developers, urging fans to offer specific fixes instead of vague hate. You have this tweet here where someone says, no, toxic positivity is far worse when people heap praise on something that sucks. You're not making the world a better place. You're just a shill. I'm seeing people describe this as toxic positivity, which is insane to me. He's simply just saying what you want developers to take seriously. You should be willing to acknowledge good things about a game while also communicating its flaws. Exactly. You do have a lot of content creators who hate the game endlessly, but then you have a lot of content creators who love the game endlessly.
Then I noticed some more of this topic on Twitter saying, why is failure so hard to accept in Western game dev culture? In the West, there is this relentless, toxic positivity. Everybody pretends skills are flawless, projects are destined for greatness, and criticism is just hate. Nobody wants to hurt feelings, so real problems get ignored or sugar-coated. Right here saying, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, toxic positivity creeped into the internet space, and now y'all spam it and act like it's the same as people who farm negativity in video game discussions. It ain't. Y'all just use it for when somebody likes something that you don't. So how we feeling about this toxic positivity? And what the hell is even the true definition, right? Is it the shills? Is that the toxic positivity? Is it the people that are like, no matter what happens in the game, they're going to continue to tell you that this game is still alive, it's going to survive. Matter of fact, it's better than ever. This is probably one of my top favorite games. Or is it the people on X talking about, hey, everything is cool and y'all need to stop hating and just, you know, support your locals and don't stop talking so much shit and just play some games. But like I said, on the other hand, you got some people that are so bitter and so hateful, it almost seems like there just needs to be an opposite side, because it's true. There were some hateful motherfuckers, and it just seems like something needs to counterbalance that. So you got like, okay, well, this is so bad. Let's be positive, because something needs to change that. But then you get toxic, I guess, positivity. This is it right here, toxic positivity. You get it kind of creeping in like, I'm also positive over here, but hey, I got something to sell. Definitely just one more time, Butt Check family. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. Appreciate the mad love. As far as like who I consider like a toxic positivity, like I say, Maximilian and all them, that's just the name that everybody's continuing to throw out. But like I said, I've seen people talk shit about me. I don't think anybody said I was toxic positivity. I think they just said I was toxic. You're always gonna get people talking shit about you. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of Max's videos I've seen, I agreed with his perspective. On many of them. Not to say I always agree with him, but like I said earlier in the video, I don't know if I agree with anybody 100% because I'm my own individual and I have my own thoughts, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, toxic positivity, how y'all feeling about it? And thank you guys for joining me with your positivity and your toxic asses, because let's be real, some of you is toxic as hell. Some of you need a hug. Let me give you a hug. Here, come on. I'm gonna give you a hug. There you go. Either way, thank you for joining me. Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow as always. I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, it's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.